gosh, you're right. All right.
I know.
Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Patch Notes, the Homegames podcast. I'm Yazeed, and this is Joseph.
It's true. I just realized that's a missed opportunity on us because episode 7 was the food episode, and this one is episode 8.
Oh, dang it.
I mean, but if we kind of go back to the whole programmery thing, it really was the 8th episode because we started at 0.
Yeah, that's a layered one though. I wouldn't have thought of that actually. We really did miss an opportunity.
And then because bite is 8, right? So it's like we could have done. I could still do that because I haven't made a title for that. Anyway, hi, I'm Joseph.
We could call it the Big Bite, like the sub name.
Oh my goodness!
Episode 8, the Big Bite, and it's just about food.
I hate that, but I want to do that.
Dude, why? That's good. That's a good one. Well, hold on. My jokes are terrible.
Bite. Yeah, we sound like a restaurant in the mall.
The Big Bite. No. Yeah, that's kind of true, actually. Oh, no. Anyway. We're recording this on December 7th, by the way. Yeah. So...
You can call it like the What's Up section.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. I'll change that for next time.
Yeah, the What's Up, and then we can play the What's Up music here. Mm-hmm. So it'll be kind of fading in and then doing something, but neither of us have heard what that song is yet, so...
Ooh, nice.
Cool.
Right. It's a surprise for all parties involved. So I do have a question. How's the tattoo healing?
Oh, it's good. It's peeling a bunch. It peeled off mostly. The feet still have the skin, like the old skin on it. It's very, very dry. I have to keep putting lotion on it. But it's fine.
Does it hurt?
No, not at all. It hasn't really hurt since the night I got it.
Did it hurt when you got it?
No, it just was super rough. Like the skin felt super raw.
No, like, I mean, the act of getting it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It just felt like someone was just rubbing my skin with sandpaper.
Oh.
And it was just like super raw skin, but it didn't feel like I was being penetrated by a needle hundreds of times a second.
When you put it that way, it sounds way more awful. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
Jesus.
But it felt okay. I don't know. I would get another one. I don't know of what, but I mean, I'm not like...
Could you get one of a turkey on your other hand?
Yeah, I'm just going to go for every farm animal.
We're going to call you Old MacDonald. Aside from that, how are you, man? How's it going?
Good. Let me see. Came back from vacation this week, so that was something. I don't get to have unlimited time to work on home games anymore. But I had like a little week and a half there that I did, and that was awesome. I don't know. I've been playing the Outer Worlds. It's pretty good, and that's it.
Is it like a fun game to play, or is it just like a silly game? Outer Worlds.
I mean, it's like Fallout. If you've played Fallout New Vegas,
I have.
I think it's made by the same people, but yeah. I mean, it just feels like Fallout. For whatever reason, I thought it was a multiplayer thing before I started playing it. I think because I was just associating it with Fallout 76 in my head, even though there's no association there. So I was like, oh, I don't want to play that. I don't like all multiplayer stuff. But one of my coworkers was like, yeah, that's a completely single player game. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh. So, and then it was on sale on the Epic Game Store, so I just got it on PC. I'm like 2 hours in. It's pretty good. I mean,
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about it yet. It's just like the story is just, you're like, I'm on this planet and everything is owned by corporations, and it's like it's trying to make something about like, oh man, the corporations, man, like they own everything, man, or something. But I don't know what it is yet. But it's cool.
I don't know if this is a spoiler, so I'm just going to say it may not be a spoiler. But I think JC was telling me about how like there's a planet that was supposed to produce tuna, and they ran out of tuna. But because they're supposed to produce tuna, they're just making tuna out of like whatever, like tuna in quotation marks, out of like whatever.
That's certainly a spoiler because that's the planet that I'm on right now, and I just got to that cannery.
Oh.
But so now I know the secret of the cannery. But that's okay.
Is that important to the overall story?
Not at all. It's like
is there
like
an
2
overall
hours.
Story?
I believe so. I haven't even hit it yet, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't really know. Like,
whoa, you're
my
2
whole
hours
thing,
in and you haven't hit the overall story?
I play slowly. The whole thing is I'm trying to get off of this planet. In order to get off the planet, I need to get something from my ship, and then you're doing quests,
Okay.
to try to. But there's like a kind of a moral dilemma in the thing I'm doing right now. But I don't know. It seems very self-contained, so I'm not too worried about figuring out where the tuna comes from.
Okay. I didn't mean to spoil that for you. I'm sorry.
You spoiled the tuna.
Yeah. I mean, I would want to know. It's like one of those things where sometimes you read the labels and you're just like, oh, okay, that's where this is. Like on food.
I mean, chicken of the sea, What does that even mean?
I always thought that meant that it's a very flexible thing to eat, but then people only eat tuna like one of two ways. Like either like it's shredded canned form or like ahi tuna, like ahi seed tuna.
What's another form of tuna? Those are the only two I can think of.
Sushi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like sashimi, tuna sashimi, and like sushi rolls.
But why do that when you can eat salmon sashimi?
Oh. I didn't know we were doing food hot takes this early in the morning, bro.
You don't like salmon sashimi?
No, it's
what is
too
wrong
creamy.
With you?
It's too creamy.
It's like 60% fat. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, but like tuna sashimi is like has a heat to it. It's like when you put it in your mouth, it feels good. I much prefer tuna sashimi.
You can't just eat it like ice cream,
Oh my god! What are you talking about? It's so good. It's so good. You pick it. You take your little chopsticks and you pinch, and then and then that's it.
I understand how to use chopsticks.
I'm telling you, tuna sashimi is at least 50% better than salmon sashimi.
Wrong.
At least.
Wrong, but you can be wrong, and that's okay.
Oh god. I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't ready, for food hot takes. Oh my god.
I didn't think that was a hot take. I'm pretty sure every person who's ever tasted anything is like, yeah, salmon sashimi's better.
Salmon sashimi is like putting, half and half in your mouth, but in fish form. Dude, it's too creamy. It's too much cream.
So, I have the word thing set up if you want to also do that.
Let's go to the word thing. For people who don't know, Joseph and I have been trying to do the word match game, and we're trying to get a match, but it has been 4 weeks now.
We didn't really do last week, because we didn't do it for the food one. We did the one before that, but that's the one where I realized it breaks if you have a spectator who clicks the screen.
Yeah.
And I could fix that. I just haven't done it yet. Anyway, but yeah, no, we haven't really played this in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But the 2 weeks before that, we tried and could not get it.
We got really close with the Math Wizard thing.
Oh yeah, Smart Guy and Math Wizard.
Yeah.
But that was okay. Well, then I guess technically we did play it that way. Anyway, we're doing fine.
Okay. So I'm Gladiator's Mandapa.
I'm Unmobile Super Civilized, which is my new band.
So
hey, I know both of these words.
Yeah, this is the first time. My word is nitpicked.
And the other word is busboy. Okay. I readied up.
Oh my gosh. No.
You just went straight for the man's throat.
JC was a busboy. And
I
it's
know.
nitpicky.
But it was I read it as like a nitpicked busboy, like this person's the victim of the sentence.
Oh.
And so then I did micromanager, so it's kind of funny because he did the aggressor and the victim. So I'm going to go ahead and say no, that wasn't close enough. And
No,
I think
that
you
was
have to hit
definitely
the same.
definitely not close enough.
And then
I don't know this word.
neither of these are words.
No. The second one, I literally don't think is real. My word is trisulfone.
The other one is HUI. Hui.
Hui.
Hui. Like a Nintendo Hui.
Okay, I'm ready with this one. I got this one.
All right.
Oh. Okay, so I said Homegames because trisulfone has the word phone in it. So it's 3 phones,
Okay.
is how I'm going to read that. And the other one is Hui, which sounds like we, which is like a word for fun. So a phone game that is fun, Homegames.
That totally kind of makes sense. I put down Nintendo Hui because I said it just before that, and I thought it was pretty funny. And I couldn't think of anything else because those are 2 nonsense words. So, here we are.
It's very accurate. Also, this is a minor thing, but I thought the way this game was supposed to work is that the words that we wrote down before become the words. Like, we don't get new words.
Yeah, that should happen. We're not there yet.
Okay.
It's a lot of technical research that has to be done. No, we could do that. You're right, I forgot to do that. Anyway, Nintendo. What would be the middle point between Nintendo Hui and Homegames? That's what we're going to do for the next one, regardless of what the words say.
Yeah. I mean, I was just going to go games, actually, in general.
I mean, that works.
Yeah.
You gotta click the button.
Oh.
You gotta do the thing. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Are we doing these 2 or are we doing the previous 2?
No, just reading the word anti-commercialist makes me think, oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's the word on the screen, by the way.
Have you, God, have you seen the Vine where it's the dude and he's like, do you have any shaving cream? And it cuts back to him and he's like, no, I don't like the way it tastes. And it's like, you eat shaving cream? It's like, no, why would I eat shaving cream if I don't like the way it tastes?
I also like how you reference Vines like 4 out of our 8 or 9 episodes, and Vine has been gone for a while.
It's one of the things. Okay, it is one of the things that I do when I'm at home or at work, and I just need some way to kill time. Like if I'm gonna eat dinner, I'll put on like a Vine compilation or a TikTok compilation, and then I'll eat dinner and I'll watch that.
My God, dude. You gotta like read a book or something.
I do read books, but I've seen so many Vines. You have no idea how many Vines I've seen.
You're right. That's better. It's more informative.
It's just more entertaining. Also, it's a good, like, it's like a way to turn your brain off, right? Like, you're just like, oh, okay, like after a long day at work, you come home, you eat some dinner, you watch some Vines, then you go on with your night, you know?
What does the rest of that night look like? Like after you've watched 2 hours of Vine compilations?
Do you think I eat dinner for 2 hours?
I don't know. You said you eat 1.5 pounds of steak every time you eat steak.
No, it's a Sunday. That's only on Sunday.
But maybe you only, I don't know, dude. I don't know what your life is like.
Oh, okay. So like a normal day will be like I get home from work. I'll park. I'll come inside and like put some stuff down. Then I'll go back outside to go and check my mail. So I'll grab my mail, bring it in. And then I will clean one room. And then I will cook dinner. And I will eat dinner while watching Vine compilations on my phone. And then I will put the dishes in the sink because I wash dishes if I create a dish today, I will wash it tomorrow. And then I go to my office and I play some game for some amount of time, and then I do hacker rank stuff for a little bit, and then I browse Reddit for the rest of the night, or play games, or talk to people, and in that order.
Wow. Well, you said hacker rank in there. We could talk about that.
Yeah, for people who don't know, hacker rank is like a global ranking for developers where you answer questions, and based on that, you get like an ELO rating. I have a very low ELO rating. I'm rated
What
like
is
480,000 in the world or something like that.
Also, I'm gonna close out this server real quick because we're almost mind melded or whatever you call it. But yeah, hacker rank. You said a word, ELO rating. I don't know what that means.
Oh, ELO. It's like shoot. I don't remember exactly what it means, but it's like you get. I'm gonna mute myself and look up what ELO is because I want to mess up the explanation. Okay, here we go. So ELO rating is a system for calculating the relative skill levels of players in zero-sum games such as chess. There we go. So basically, it's a way of rating your skill against other people based on what questions you've answered and how well you've answered those questions.
And it's all just like A to I in C or whatever else. Like what languages? Like what's the kind of problems that you get?
It depends. Some of the questions are like, okay, given this array, transform it in this way, or like given this array, output this value, like that kind of stuff. And you can pick the language you work in. I think they have like 8 you can choose from. It's like Ruby, JavaScript, Java, some forms of C. I think Go is in there. Maybe Swift. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard about like a few of those, like HackerRank, and then there's LeetCode, and then there's a couple others. But yeah, it's just like what's the other one? Code Kana. Anyway,
Code Kata?
there's one where it's like you are caught, and it's like some meditative whatever weirdo words. I forget the name of it, but anyway, there's a bunch of them like it.
Yeah. I just use HackerRank because it was recommended to me, and it has the word hacker in it, which makes it the best one, obviously.
Yeah, but there's also LeetCode. Like, what's more neckbeardy, you know? I think LeetCode is.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. But for pretentiousness, Code Kata just sounds...
It's not called that. I forget what it actually is called, but it's like, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just a copy-paste of those things.
Yeah. I heard that like each one is better in some way. Like they're not all exactly the same. It's not like they have the same set of questions. I know somebody who does use LeetCode and they really like it. I like HackerRank because I've been using HackerRank and it's my highest rank. So you know, I'm not gonna start the bottom again. That sounds terrible.
Do you feel like it's actually valuable though? Like, is it like studying for a question on an exam that doesn't actually matter, like in school, or is it actually helping you?
So the reason that I was doing it actually wasn't that I felt like I needed it. I mean, obviously it will help you because it just becomes more natural to write code. But the reason I did it was because I don't work on my home computer very often. Normally I have like my own setup at work at like the office. So I was doing it just to become more comfortable with writing code at home. Just like the mechanicalness, like change, like the subtle differences in the keyboard, subtle differences in the setup, like that kind of stuff. You know.
Cool. Speaking of writing code at home, I just bought a new keyboard because I'm an idiot. But it's
how many? Okay, hold on. For people who don't know, how many keyboards do you own right now?
Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got keyboard number 7 coming today.
How many things can you plug a keyboard into right now that you own?
Well, I mean, quite a few. The new MacBooks, I got. Well, I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Not 7. Fewer than 7.
Spans owns 7 really nice keyboards. What keyboard did you get though?
Well, okay. It's not 7 really nice ones. Let me go through the list. So I have a Logitech G710 Plus that I'm using on my desktop right now. I've been using this for I think 5 years at least, probably longer. Pretty nice. Cherry MX Brown switches, kind of all around keyboard. I don't like writing code on it. I don't like using it for work, anything. I have a WASD keyboard that I got. That's just kind of like a smaller keyboard. It's a 10 keyless board, I believe. Just doesn't have the side numbers. I don't know if that's what it's called. Anyway, It's just like a smaller version of a board. It's got mint green keycaps. It's got blue switches, and it's pretty nice. I don't use it much. I wanted that to be like my programming board on my Mac, so I can just kind of keep it around and be portable. I don't actually use it, so it's in the closet. My old coworker bought a PC bundle on CyberPower PC or one of those websites, and it came with a super shitty mechanical keyboard for free. And it's like $5 value, but you get it for free. And so he was just I don't know anybody that wants this. Do you want this? And me being an idiot, I was like, yeah, sure, of course, I'll take your free keyboard. And then I tried it out, and it was awful. But one of the keycaps on top or on my G710 Plus broke. It was the caps lock key. And so I replaced the keycap from the board that my coworker gave me, and that's all the utility I've gotten out of it, is just taking off one of the keycaps. Actually, I think I gave that to Goodwill, so my number is only 6. Anyway, got rid of that one.
All right.
So I talked about that one. I have a HHKB Pro 2 Type S, which is the little mini perfect Japanese keyboard that I have. It's best keyboard ever, which is actually what I use to write code on my laptop and on anything that I use it for. I actually have 2 of them. I have one that I keep at work and one that I keep at home, so I can use it everywhere I do work.
Nice.
So that counts for 2 of them. And then since I like the Topper switches in that so much, they aren't cherry switches. They're just like a softer, quieter, just nicer key in my opinion for productivity. So I bought a 104 key Topper switch, another Japanese board. It's a full layout one, whatever, to be my main desktop board. But it just didn't feel right to me, so I just put it. I'm still using my G710 Plus, but the big Japanese one's in the closet. And then the one coming today.
I want to clip that. Can we just call this podcast "The Big Japanese One's in the Closet"?
Sure.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah. And then anyway, the last one that I got, it's coming today. It's got Cherry MX clear switches, and I just like those because they're super hard to press down. They like have the most like actuation force required, or for the actuation point. I don't know the words that people use, but like it's one of those. It's just the most like a typewriter that I've used, and I just like them. So that's gonna be the one that replaces my G710 Plus, hopefully.
Okay, I use brown switches at work actually, because they make the least amount of clicking noise, but they feel nice still. Like what I like about them is that you know when you've pressed the key.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got browns with dampeners on the 710 Plus. It's super. I don't think I would use them at work because I would just any sound at all makes me self-conscious. But like, this is the board I use at work, and they click, but they're like super quiet.
Yeah, I honestly can't hear the click.
Yeah, but yeah, Topper switches. If you're into, if you want to go down the rabbit hole.
Also, I want to point out briefly that Joseph just referred to a keyboard only as I have this board at work. I wanted this to be my main programming board, which I think is really funny. It's like slang, but for keyboards.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you go on the keyboard subreddits or no?
I've seen pictures from mechanical keyboards, but I don't subscribe to it. Because then a lot of the time it's people just doing like super custom stuff, and it's just really nice looking, and it makes me want to get new keycaps and new like cables and all that kind of stuff, which I just don't need to do. So
someone had like a blue switch, all wood, like teak wood or something, keyboard that they made, and God, it looks so nice. Like just the way it looked, I was like, that must be heaven to write code on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like just all those pictures just look so nice. It's kind of like comfy rooms or cozy spaces or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where you just see a picture of like Hey Arnold's room, where like in an attic, you're just like, oh, I kind of dig those vibes, and then you think that would be cool, but then you actually get it. You're just like, well, I mean, this is not practical. Just like a lot of those keyboards.
Yeah, that is true. But I disagree with Hey Arnold's room being not practical. I mean, aside from the fact that his bookshelf is like 8 times his height, seems pretty
crushed
reasonable.
That guy. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking, a lot of those rooms look like Hey Arnold's room, but much smaller and cramped.
I need to rewatch Hey Arnold, I feel like, because I don't remember what his room looks like, aside from this bookshelf being, like, really tall.
Yeah, I just remember the window in the bed and, like, the general layout.
And it's like a ladder to the roof or something like that.
I don't remember. I haven't seen Hey Arnold in a while.
They came out with a movie for Hey Arnold recently, and, like, I never watched it.
You say recently, because I know there's a movie, but what does that mean? What is it?
I think, like,
5
2
years
years ago.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, there was, like, the movie where he finds his parents.
I thought that was, like, 15 years ago.
Bruh. That was the movie where he doesn't find his parents. That was 15 years ago.
Holy shit. Hey Arnold, the Jungle Movie, 2017. You're right.
Yeah.
The
Oh
one
my
before
god.
that was
Okay,
2002.
listen. For people who don't know, I have never once been right about a time period. And I got this one correct about a movie I've never seen.
Wow, that's a big deal.
I deserve credit for this one.
Almost exactly 2 years ago. You're on it.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yazeed did it on this podcast.
Old Yazeed would have been like, well, it was 1492 when the Hey Arnold movie came out. It was forever ago.
I still think 2 years ago is like a really long time ago.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to the other one was 2002, which is 17
Yeah.
years ago. That's
That
quite a
one
while.
was like in 1492. That one was a really long time ago. I was like, what, like 6? That's a joke. I'm not like 12 or whatever that would have been.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're a 40-something-year-old man.
I'm not 40. Oh my God. If I was 40 in this podcast, I described my whole night. That's the most depressing thing possible, I think.
But yeah, no, you're in your 20s, so it's totally good.
I do active stuff, you know?
You don't have to prove anything to me, bud.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like I have to defend myself now, so it doesn't sound like I'm just some lonely old man who sits in his place. Oh my gosh. How is the flight back, by the way?
Oh, it was good. Me and Zenobia flew back separately. She flew back the day later, but I had a window seat. And flying back in, we went right over downtown, so I saw the Space Needle with the little Christmas tree and lights that they put on top every year. And
Put a Christmas tree on top of the Space Needle?
yeah, it's just all like it's lights in the shape of a Christmas tree. It's not an actual tree. But yeah, it's super cool. It was nice. It was fast, way faster than a 26-hour drive, and I didn't get stuck in any forests. And it was cool.
I told my mom that story, and she was like, "Are they okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're fine."
Yeah, it's Zenobia and I, we've been telling the story to just people, and it's like 50-50 of people who are like, oh my God, I'm glad you guys are okay. That sounds awful. And people who are just like, holy shit, that's hilarious.
I think it's cool. I know it was super dangerous, and I'm really glad that it didn't end up endangering, like, you guys were okay. But that's pretty cool.
It's just funny, though. I never know what to expect because it could be just the way I tell it. Like, if I have this grim look on my face or like a 1,000-yard stare, but I don't.
We leaned in how dumb we are.
Yeah, well, I think when we did drama together, that's when we really, really leaned into how stupid we are.
Yeah, actually.
I sometimes forget that we did that, and I don't think
do.
it's me forgetting. It's me blocking it out of my memory.
For people who don't know, Joseph and I actually did a year and a semester of drama, a semester in college and a year in high school, and both times we got to do The Odd Couple. Mm-hmm. And we played the same characters, and I think we literally did the same monologue. Dialogue, yeah.
I don't remember. I know that the one where I threw the pillow super hard, but I don't remember the pillow being in both.
Because in one we had props, and the other one we didn't.
Oh, right. In high school, they just made us do...
No, in high school, they gave us props. In college, they didn't.
I thought in college, we brought our own pillow, and I remember I threw it because it was like everybody standing in a circle around us, and I threw the pillow at someone.
I could not do that. All right, like, I could not have done that in class if you weren't in it.
What did you say? Your thing cut out for me.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't have done that class if you weren't in it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it was me, you, and Alex in that one in college.
Yeah.
But in high school, for sure.
No, I couldn't have done either one without. I don't think so. I mean, Alex and I are close, but he doesn't make me feel comfortable in front of a crowd in the same way that you do.
Well, thank you. But I'm also super uncomfortable in front of crowds. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how we did it, but we did it. We got A's. We passed both of those.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Odd Couple seems like a perfect fit for us.
It really is. It really, really is. All right. Now then, we played the word match game. We did the tattoo. General check-in stuff, flying back, just random chit-chat. Now on to like the actual point of the podcast, the home game stuff. Yeah.
And then now we'll play the home game stuff song.
What's that one going to be?
I have no idea. We've got like 11 songs to choose from.
Could you make up a little beat real quick? I would really like to request from Tynan the next time he makes music for us to use like the circus theme song, like the da 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 da.
This is for a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
Also, the person who made the intro music and outro music and all the songs that we're going to be playing is our good friend Tynan. He's on Bandcamp as Nytan, Nytan.
Super, super good at music. Also, just generally a really smart guy. Really funny guy too.
He's fantastic.
He's really good at Rocket League. If you're good at Rocket League and you want to compete with somebody who's also really good at Rocket League, he's the man. He's the man to do it.
But don't put the mic on. Don't do the game chat when you're playing anything.
No, just no. Honestly, mute him. Just don't even leave text in there. He'll just spam. What a save and nice shot for you. But he's really supportive of me when I play with him. Whenever I play with him, he's like, "That's a really nice catch, Yazeed. Like, nice block, nice save."
But anybody who's not on this podcast trying to meet him, he will not be that to you.
He's mean to Joseph. He was literally mean to Joseph the one time you played Rocket League with us.
Yeah, I've played Rocket League exactly once in my life, and it was with Tynan, so.
And we flamed him. Oh my god. Because we played, I'm going to tell this story because I feel like I have to. But we played 2v2, and it was me and Tynan. But Tynan is really good at Rocket League, and I play and watch Rocket League, like professional Rocket League, and I play Rocket League, not professionally. And Joseph and Alex plays Rocket League occasionally, and Joseph literally never played Rocket League. And we weren't even nice to them. We literally, like, in one game, I think we scored like 5 times, and then Tynan kept calling Joseph, and like, terrible. He's like, why are you guys so bad? Oh my god.
Yeah, so we love him. Check him out on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I love Tynan so much. All right. So home game stuff, though. The animation stuff, I want to kind of go over that because that's super cool. Like,
yeah.
Really cool.
So I updated Pico de Gallo earlier so we could play the word match game because what I currently have on it, or what I previously had on it and currently have on it, is a dancing thing. It's like what would you call it? I don't know. It's just like a bunch of you can join and dance. I don't know. Yeah. Dancing room. So yeah, the dancing. It's like the first version of a home games animation, and there's no actual animation in the sense that there's nothing really that knows that it's a transition from one frame to the next of a like a sprite sheet or whatever like that. It's all defined in the game server and in the game server logic. So using the assets and stuff that we had previously for the Kanye Shrug PNG within the drawing game, the same stuff that loads that in there is basically the same thing loading the images, the 5 different frames of that guy dancing from S3 on startup when someone runs the home game server. And then so a client will connect and then get those 5 assets on startup, so then they just kind of have them locally. And then later on, each the input will map to a different state of that guy for a player, and then move that guy's like current asset to the next one. So it's all just defined like in a map of this state to this input equals this input. You can say it's like a DFA if you wanted to go all all computer boy on it. But yeah. Anyway, state transition stuff. Input to thing, and then the guy will just move to that frame. I just downloaded some simple sprite drawing software, and it creates like a nice grid of pixels, and you can just kind of make something with like a 64 by 64 thing. I just made 5 of those. Dancing little guy with the mouth in, the mouth going towards where his arms go, which we're both super into. Yeah, but anyway, that kind of it'll accept key down input from the keyboard, so you can use the arrow keys if you like. And then on mobile devices, this is kind of like what you were talking about, I think at this point 2 weeks ago, or 2 episodes ago, Yazeed, of an on-screen keyboard. So like showing little buttons or whatever in the corner and saying this will move you up, this will move you whatever. The dancing thing kind of has that, where if you touch the middle top, middle bottom of the screen, you'll move up and down. You touch the left and right, and you move left and right. So kind of have a version of that now. And it's fast as heck.
It's super cool. I really, really like it. I like the little mouth going, ooh. For people who haven't seen it yet, it is on Pico de Gallo. Hey, Joseph Jordan. Yeah. I think my favorite pose so far is him when you press the down key, because it just looks like he's pooping. Yeah. It looks like but he's still making the ooh noise, which is it's just like even better, because this man he's dropping a hot one, like going ooh while he's doing it. Like even he's amazed by the spice level on this one.
Great. Another thing is that he'll kind of like move to the center position every time, so you can't transition from one arm out animation to the next. That's actually a bug in my transition logic. Like instead of moving directly to the thing, I reset, and it's just a messed up if statement. But it actually ends up kind of making it look better, in my opinion. Anyway, I actually really like how this thing moves, and it's only 5 frames. And it's super, super fast.
Holding down the keyboard is just great.
And I'm looking at Yazeed's face, just like staring wide-eyed at this
I love it. I love it so much. I think we got to get this guy. I think this guy is going to be like in all of our games somewhere. So Joseph stepped away. So this is the part of the podcast where I just say complete nonsense. Have you ever noticed that when you put spaghetti in the microwave, it gets a little bit crunchy? Not crunchy, but like it's not as good as when you just cooked spaghetti. I don't know why that is, and I don't know how microwaves work, but in my head, it should be exactly the same. Like if I cook spaghetti, it should be exactly the same. John's back.
All right, I'm back. Hi.
So what does the skate on your shirt stand for? I noticed that there's like an acronym on the back, and the front says, yeah, I skate.
Right. It's a Lil Wayne t-shirt. So it says, yeah, I skate on the front. And then on the back, it says, real G's move in silence like lasagna. You know? It's like that.
It does say real G's move in silence like lasagna. But it has like skate spelled down, so it's like one of those like word things where you think the letter is going to be the first letter.
It's like that meme where it's like, yeah, whatever, and then it's like respect women all the time and none of the words. It's just dumb stuff like that. Lil Wayne had for the Carter 5 had a whole merch thing, and normally like I'm not the biggest Lil Wayne fan. Anyway, I wanted the new album, wasn't super looking forward to the new album, bought the funniest t-shirt that I thought he had, which was this one, because I just can't believe that Lil Wayne made and sold this meme shirt. So I think
view it as a moment in history. He's the most likely to like embrace the meme, though.
I would say like, I don't know, there's a bunch. Like Kanye is pretty, he leans into the whole thing. Travis Scott kind of knows his, like they're selling a scooter, or they were selling an electric scooter for his new compilation album thing coming out. Anyway, rappers, it's all marketing these days.
What's the story on the scooter?
You know who Travis Scott is?
Nope.
He's the guy who has that Antidote song. Won't you open up that window? That one?
Mm.
Anyway, I'm sure you've heard some of his songs. You just don't know the name. Anyway.
Probably.
Sicko Mode.
Oh, I've heard of Sicko Mode.
Yeah, okay. He's the guy on that song who's not Drake.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Anyway, he's huge, and so he has this compilation album coming out with this other group, and his previous album, Astroworld, sold crazy numbers because of merch bundles and just selling T-shirts, and each of them came with a digital download, so kids would buy like 3-4 shirts, and therefore it's 3-4 album sales per person, on top of all the streams, on top of the whatever, so his first week's sales were like 400,000. Anyway.
Holy smokes.
He's realized that he can exploit this whole system by just selling merch, and so kind of leaning into the goofy merch. And he's one of the things in the most recent drop was a $500 electric scooter.
How many of those sold?
I don't know. I don't know how many individual things of whatever he sold, but I would guess more than 0.
Did you try to buy the electric scooter?
No, I'm a real big idiot, especially with dumb stuff like that. I mean, I'm wearing this Lil Wayne shirt, but not $500. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. See, the thing is I don't know if that's a lot for an electric scooter, though. I don't know how much an electric scooter costs.
I would guess not far from $500, but I don't think it's a quality electric scooter. Like I wouldn't daily drive that bad boy, you know. Or am I gonna call Travis Scott support when it breaks? The dude's high on lean all the time. He can't do anything for me.
TravisScott.io.
Yeah.
So back to the home game stuff real quick.
Yeah.
About the
animation
recording
stuff.
audio from the devices you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, Alex sent me a message, and he was just asking for some kind of help on getting something recorded from the device and then just playing back. Something simple, like you can think of like a walkie-talkie app to be, for an example. And so he's doing this stuff currently to get the audio to record on the client. And so I told him this was the deal, or I asked if he wanted to do this, but he hasn't responded. But I'm pretty sure this is what's happening. He's going to do the work to get the stuff recorded on the client and then just sending it through the socket. And then I'm going to do the work to allow dynamic assets to be generated like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because currently the only way that you can get an asset into the game is by having it available on startup, because you declare it like as an asset in your game. Yeah, so anyway, the only way you can get an asset in right now is having it available on startup. And there's no way currently to say, hey, server, here's a new game asset, save it as a file, and then kind of update everybody else and tell them it's also a file and that I can reference later. That would also be a new kind of asset, because it would not persist after the thing is done. It would only, I mean, maybe we could allow some sort of exporting and saving files or whatever, but it would have to go into like a temporary cache for that one specific game session, because we don't really need that person's audio recording or whatever after the game has been restarted, because the game won't remember anything, so it won't be able to reference it anymore.
That makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, that shouldn't be too hard, I don't think.
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never dealt with audio anywhere before.
Well, it's not just audio. It would also be stuff. It'd be any kind of asset, so it could be like an image too. So it'd kind of open up the server side. It would open up availability to take a picture and then share it to everybody in the room, for example.
Oh my god. You could play a game where people have to take a picture of an object.
Yeah, me and Alex threw out the idea of guess the dick pic.
No, all right.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that. But yeah, something like that, you know? It opens
we
the door.
Are officially.
Yeah, we're not going to put that in the official home games branch, but I'm just saying that is possible with this technology. We're unlocking the ability.
Once you have like a really established brand, what we'll do home games after dark. And then that one, we'll have to guess the dick pic.
I should go register homegames.xxx right now.
Oh my god.
No, that's awful. I don't like this.
I was joking about the After Dark thing, but I didn't think about that.
I do own superbooty.net. We can do something with that.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
He does.
I also own joseph.zone, which I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah, who owns Constant X Joe's X?
You're comparing. I was X Joseph X, and then I was Constant Joseph.
Oh, sorry.
Or no. I was Constant Joseph, and then I was X Joseph X, and then I became Dank Caliendo on Xbox. But yeah,
that's a good name. Well, isn't there like a middle one? Weren't you the Waffle Stomper?
I was the Raffle Stomper. That was my like high school name.
Yeah, but then for a brief period, weren't you like Blue Waffles? And you got reported.
No, my motto on Xbox was "I like blue waffles" because I was 13 and I thought that was hilarious. And then I got suspended or something. They made me change my bio.
That's right.
But yeah, dynamic assets in home game.
Yeah. Well, okay. Sorry. Back to the dynamic assets. Once we do get that done, I feel like that's going to open up a lot of really silly games that we can make. Because when you said the walkie-talkie thing, the immediate thing I thought of was, what if we made like the popcorn game, where you say something into your phone and somebody listens to it, and then they have to tell other people, and then once it gets through everybody, like you tell them one person at a time, and once it gets through everybody.
Yeah. Or we could do, because I mean, we did that at that game jam a long time ago, right? It was kind of a version of that with images. We can actually do that with home games. That thing that we tried to build years ago.
Yes. What was it called? What did we call it?
I don't think we had a name, or maybe we did. We just called it the telephone game, but like not.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, we tried to make.
If we do call it the telephone game, I feel like that's going to be like a double funny joke. Because it's both a telephone game, but also you're playing on your telephone.
Incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, works on multiple levels.
Yes.
But yeah, no, hopefully, I really do think in January we're going to have like a bunch of cool stuff that people can actually use. And then I think once that whole thing is happening, I'll work on documentation, and then we can actually start to show it to people.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was thinking on doing, like, as I went along and built Square, was to just write super simply, like, what I've been doing. Like, kind of like a dev diary of like, today I did this thing, and here's kind of like how I did it. Because then I could put that in like somewhere.
Yeah.
Post that somewhere.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you could do we can do like a home games blog.
Yeah. Yeah, that. Yeah, not a diary. It's not a diary.
Dear diary. It's not like, today I ate a pound and a half of steak,
and I thought it was really cute. Today he held the door for me, and
I said thank you, but he didn't say anything. So then I watched Vines for 6 hours, and I ate a pint of Ben and Jerry's. Someone help me. I get what you said, but I don't have any idea what you said.
Oh, I said it's funny, but you added the Ben and Jerry thing in there because last night that's what I did while I was watching Vines. Is I ate Ben and Jerry's ice cream and watched Vines.
Nice. Yeah.
For dessert.
Yeah. What kind of Ben and Jerry's?
Rocky Road.
That's a pretty good one. Cherry Garcia is fantastic, but Rocky Road's close. It's close, you know.
I have never liked anything with the word cherry in it.
But you love something with the word Garcia in it.
I do love something with the word Garcia in it.
So maybe
you're right. Maybe it'll balance Garcia out and it'll be okay.
I like the cheesecake core ones too. Just have like a brick of cheesecake in the center.
Yes.
Yeah.
No joke, I think my favorite ones are actually little like Haagen-Dazs pints, which are like the trio ones or whatever they call it, where it's like 3 layers, and one of the layers is just a disc of chocolate like across.
Yeah, I've seen those before. It's like you have to stab through it because it's just frozen solid.
It's surprisingly violent watching people eat those too.
Yeah.
Like I watched my brother eat one of those, and he was just like, bah, like all the way through.
Yeah, but that man also orders milk at restaurants, so
God, he does.
He's a little different.
From the way he orders food, you'd think is really young, but is like 2 years younger than me.
So he's, what was that, 1495 he was born?
Yeah.
By the math that we had, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely after Columbus sailed the ocean blue in the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. It's not going well for you. Oh, and then on my part on the home game stuff is that I'm going to be starting in today on getting some stuff done for it. My goal for the end of today is to actually have a square, preferably pink, And when you press the arrow keys, it moves up with the up arrow, and right with the right arrow, left with the left arrow, and down with the down arrow. And there's going to be another square on the far side that you're going to try to get to. And nothing is going to happen when you get there, but that's what I want to have happen.
You can look at the move test, and it actually has a pretty...
All of that?
Almost all of that. It doesn't have... I think it's a slightly different version. I forget exactly what, but if you want the keyboard movement and how to define the game node that can move and attaching the listener and all that kind of stuff, it's all in there.
Yeah, I wanted to add that, and I wanted to add in your the up, down, left, right arrows that you were talking about on being on screen. So I want to add both of those in there. But that's my goal for the end of today, is to have both of those things done.
Cool.
So I have that done, because that's like the base of Frogger. Because then in next week, what I'm going to be hopefully adding in is a moving car or something. That when you hit it, your frog goes explode, or your square explodes or something.
Are you going to use assets for that, or just like the colored game nodes?
I was just going to use colored game nodes for right now, and then like as we move along, add assets and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah, I figured starting simply is probably the best way possible, especially if I'm going to start like a dev blog almost. I'm like building my first game on my own.
Yeah. And
that I haven't done yet. That's the other thing I've not done is like made my own game. So I'm really excited to start. I just had a rough week this week at work. But anyway, I don't know. Did you have anything else for the home game section?
The next thing I'm going to work on, so I'm still I have a Prettify or Prettify branch on GitHub that I've been working on. That's what has all the dancing guys. And I still want to work on something like a static, like just things happening on the screen when nothing is happening. So it's not just, watching the guy stand there waiting for input. Having some sort of halo that flashes or some sort of thing going or something just happening all the time, just to test what it looks like to have 60 FPS and see if I can actually get 60 FPS in that kind of a thing.
Have you ever seen Chowder, the TV show?
I've seen it. I don't think I would say I watch it or have like really watched it.
Okay. In that show, okay, I'm going to try to explain it as fast as I can. Basically in that show, like it's as if every person's like texture, like their clothes and stuff like that, is see-through, and there's like a texture behind them, and so they move it, like the texture on their their clothes will move with them. So for example, they have like a floral design, and when they move, like the whole texture like shifts. So if they're walking to the right, it's like the texture is going left, because you're seeing them like move across a plane basically.
Okay.
I think that would be kind of sick. It's like if you press the right arrow, it's like the whole texture in the background move very slightly.
I don't know how I want to actually do it. I guess there's just a lot for me to kind of mess with and figure it out there. But something that looks smooth, I guess, is the goal for that, and something that looks alive. Like I said, I'm going to work on the dynamic asset stuff for Alex, and then kind of just in general allowing pictures and all that stuff to work. Then the stretch goal for the month is the server stuff. I think I can actually knock out like a early version of that with a game selector, because what I really, really want is to be able to say, hey guys, here's Homegames, and the game selector and server management and all that kind of stuff is here, and all this will get better, instead of this chunk isn't here. It's this chunk is garbage, but it'll get better.
No, I actually don't really have any updates either. So we're going on the listener stuff section, the listener questions section. We don't have any listener questions this week.
Yeah, we don't have any listener questions.
We do have listeners.
We do, and we appreciate everybody listening. I totally get not having questions, by the way, because none of this stuff is available for people to use yet. So I mean, I'm not like weird about it. It's just, send us questions, send us feedback, send us comments, send us anything. We've gotten 0 pictures of bugs, by the way.
God, yes.
Really looking forward to that.
I actually have a bug-related story for this week. So, for people who don't know, I am terrified of bugs to the point that I can't kill them or touch anything they've touched. So, for example, if a bug gets on a piece of paper, even if somebody else kills the bug for me, I will throw away that paper. Because I don't want to deal with it. This week at work, I killed a spider on my own. And I got rid of its corpse. and didn't throw away the tape dispenser that I used to kill it.
All right, tell me how you killed a spider with a tape dispenser.
Okay, so the spider was. Do you know where the cable connects to your keyboard?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was like chilling like right next to that. So I had to move the keyboard, and it moved fast because spiders move quickly. And so I panicked and scooted away. And then eventually it came to rest like in an open area. And I have a tape dispenser on my desk at work. And I just picked up the tape dispenser and I just hit it 3 times. I hit it and then I hit it 2 more times. And then after that 3rd time, it didn't move anymore. And so I just took another piece of paper and I threw it as far away from me as I possibly could. And then I threw the paper away.
Wow. It's very brave of you.
Thank you.
Have you told the people about your bug room? Because this is like a big deal, actually, that you were able to kill a bug yourself.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, I have a room in where I live dedicated to trapping bugs that get into my house. So basically, what it is just an empty room, and the door is always closed to it, except for when there's a flying bug that gets into the place. And when a flying bug gets in, I'll open the door. I'll wait for it to go into that room, and then I'll close the door. And I'll leave it closed for 3 to 5 days. And then I'll open it up, and I'll vacuum up the bug's corpse, because most bugs don't live that long. But I'm too afraid to directly confront any bug. Any bug. Ants, moths, mosquitoes. I can't do it. It's too much for me.
Yeah, I told someone about my friend with the bug room this week, and they were like, that's just really weird. And it really is, but I respect it.
It really is. No, it is. I know it is. I've contemplated going to therapy for it, but it sounds like a lot of effort. And also, if I go to therapy for it, I have to explain in detail all of these stories to people, and they make me sound like a crazy person. So,
I don't want to go to therapy. They'll find out I'm crazy. Quote, Yazeed.
We'll just find out how deep the rabbit hole goes with this phobia. It's bad. It's not healthy, but I've lived with it now for however long I've been alive. So
yeah, you heard it straight from him. Everybody, send pictures of mosquitoes, moths, anything that flies.
No, I'll do this
Homegames
actually.
IO.
If I get a viewer question about bugs, if we get viewer pictures about bugs, I will tell one of the 2 moth stories in my life.
I think I know one of the moth stories.
You know both of the moth stories.
Maybe I'm just forgetting what specific moth story the other one is.
Yeah,
because it's kind of an
basically
ongoing
the same
saga.
Story. If I tell one, I'm basically telling the other.
Yeah. But yeah, listener questions. Send them in.
Put that out. Yeah, send them in.
Well, let us know what's going on. If you have any hot takes yourself, because Yazeed likes to get hot takes from people.
It's not like I like to get hot takes. I think it's just the way it's been so far. We've just been doing hot takes.
My hot take is it pisses me off when I can't hear what the hell Yazeed says because the mic keeps cutting out. But
what is wrong with it?
Audacity's
picking it up the whole time.
It's like you said that one time Discord didn't pick it up. And I've had that too, where Discord doesn't register that I said anything. But it's Discord not the mic.
Pick up,
I can switch to Skype. We haven't used that in a decade.
I'm afraid of if I logged in.
Just Cortana comes up. You get Clippy from Microsoft Word. Everything just comes up to haunt you that Microsoft's ever made.
I think hearing the word Clippy again threw me back to middle school. Here's how you use a computer class.
Yeah.
With Mrs. Pride.
Oh yeah, that's where JC taught me how to type a smiley face. That's where I met JC. Anyway.
You guys met in a computer class together?
Yeah.
That's funny knowing you two.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It makes sense that the place that you two would be the most comfortable is in front of a computer together.
I switched into that class because I was in band first, and then I realized that all the band kids were weird, so I had to get out of there.
Weren't you also in choir?
I was. I actually enjoyed that. That was 7th grade, I think.
Can you sing?
Not at all, no. They just let anybody into choir in middle school because they can't say no to people. They're 12.
Yeah.
Just like drama. No one would say, we couldn't, if we actually auditioned for anything, we'd get rejected. because
Yeah,
we're terrible. We're not.
Yeah, no, not good. We're not good. These are actually our real personalities, but imagine if we were not together, because I think a podcast with just me or with just you would not go smoothly.
Yeah, no, because I have no one to bounce off of, so I'm just gonna like be a jerk to myself because I need you to be a jerk too, and then you're just like, oh, haha, and then you kind of bounce back.
You know what's really funny actually is I think that knowing you and JC and Alex and Tynan, who all of you have like a very like set funny, like you guys are all funny on your like with somebody else because you throw a lot of stuff at them. I've just developed a sense of humor where I just absorb it and then I give a little bit back. So
yeah, I could see that. You're like the comedy sponge. It kind of leaks out some of the comedy every.
Oh no! I don't know what it is, but the word leaks out, like the phrase leaks out, I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like it.
On to our second to last section, the What's Up part 2. Speaking of the Cybertruck, Joseph.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to edit all that stuff before because we got sidetracked like 9 times. So I think I'm going to put all that stuff in here. But we'll see. The Cybertruck, at this point, it's like 3 weeks old. But holy shit, I love that thing. I love the way it looks. I love everything about it. I love it.
Sorry, I needed to get water. Do you remember Halo 1? Like Combat Evolved, the Warthogs?
Warthog, yeah, it looks exactly like
it looks like the Warthog. Literally, that was the first thing when I saw it, I was like, that's the Warthog from Halo 1.
Yeah.
It's just not green. That's the only difference. It looks so similar.
We just got to get a dude standing on the back with a Gatling gun, and it's Halo 3. Or whatever.
This is Elon Musk. There's a chance that there may be a flamethrower like attachment at some point. Make it like a technical.
Make it a military vehicle. But yeah, no, I love that thing, and I'm very excited for it to come out. I every single person I've talked to at who like, I don't know, people either really love it or really hate it. But it's funny because a lot of the programmery type people I've talked to love it. A lot of the non-programmery people hate it. And then there's some crossover there, but it's funny. I'm trying to determine like what type of person is into the Cybertruck.
I wonder if the word Cybertruck kind of lends itself to programmers liking it. I don't know why, but I feel like cyber is just a thing that programmers would like more.
I don't know. I think the name's kind of stupid, and the logo looks like it looks really stupid as well.
I haven't actually seen the logo at all. I've
it's
just
like
seen
penciled in a middle schooler's notebook, basically.
Oh no.
But actually, no, Cybertruck. It's stupid, but in a way I can really get behind, and then it looks incredible, like the sharp edges and the weirdo, like just dark looking. I don't know. It just looks dumb, but in a really cool way, and I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wouldn't own one because I'm not like a truck person.
yeah.
But geez, it looks like a future car. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. It looks like a future car.
I totally agree. It's like every car has looked the same forever, and so if we're gonna actually go towards this future where cars look like Mars rovers and warthogs and future stuff, like someone's got to do it. And looking around at who makes cars today, it's like, okay, well, it's gonna be Ford, or Tesla. Like who's gonna lead the way? It's Tesla. Elon Musk is like the coolest dude to ever. Okay, car alarm going on. Okay, we're back. We're good.
There, you're talking shit about Ford.
The Ford boys are outside.
Yeah.
With the F-150s. But yeah, no. It's all. I don't know. I want one.
I would love to own a Tesla. Like, not a Cybertruck because I'm not a truck person, but just like a regular Tesla. One of my coworkers has one, and she loves it. And I've been in it, and it really feels like you're sitting in a spaceship. It doesn't feel like I'm in a real car. It doesn't make any noise, which is very different than my car. Like,
also, it's a feature. You know how on an automatic vehicle, when you lift off the brake, you start to move forward, like just kind of whatever. And Teslas don't do that naturally because they just don't do that. But they added in a feature that would mimic that. So when you let off the brake, it would kind of inch forward, and it's all just done in software. It's like pretty crazy.
I did not know that, and that makes it even cooler, though. That makes it, like, way cooler. The amount of, like, little minutia and stuff like that, I love that so much.
Yeah, and like dog mode and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm super into like a lot of the stuff that they do.
Yeah. The Cybertruck to me reminds me a lot of like that cyberpunk aesthetic too, and I'm really into that.
You should seriously look at the logo. It looks almost exactly like the font in Cyberpunk.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself and I'm gonna look that up. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Okay, that really does. That looks like either the logo off of like Cyberpunk or like a heavy metal logo.
Yeah.
It's like white text, like really angular, like really garbo.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the coolest looking car I've ever seen in my life, or vehicle I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. On Joe Rogan's podcast, he said that it looks like a Jetson car, and I have to agree. Like it really does. And the fact it's like I would love to paint it chrome, just like super reflective chrome.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah.
Just be annoying as hell.
Yeah.
And
why not?
The headlights being one giant just LED strip. It just.
Oh my god.
I mean,
like really lean into like the what is it? Like that like aesthetic, yeah.
I'm super into the way this looks, but I know that if I ever see these on the street, I would think, wow, that person's an asshole. Anybody driving it. Because the lights and the chunkiness of it.
All I'm saying is it's better than driving a Hummer.
Oh, sure. I mean, whatever. Hummers are kind of cool. Whatever. I'm just saying it looks douchey, but in a way I really like.
Yeah. Have you seen the like concept art of people camping on it?
The one where it's like out in the wilderness and it's like the brown colored one? Yeah.
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 I'm really into that.
I am also super into that. I'm like the opposite of an outdoorsy person, but when we were stuck out in the forest, I was like, well, the Cybertruck wouldn't have gotten stuck. So I'm getting Synovia on board slowly. You got like 2 years.
That's right. Yeah. You have some time. I mean, you only need to put $100 now.
I mean, I already did reserve one.
No! Did you really?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
It's refundable, and like I said, it's 2 years away. So we'll see if I actually end up getting one, but I'm very pumped.
Hell yeah. Why not? I should reserve one.
I reserved a single motor with self-driving. I'm trying to be reasonable.
I'm gonna get the tri-motor single driving. I'm really hope that this picks up. Like Homegames becomes massive in the next 2 years.
Just start a GoFundMe for a $90,000 truck.
It's not 90,000. If you do the tri-motor plus self-driving is
78,
79. Yeah, it's like 80.
Yeah, but then after tax and everything.
Yeah, that's only like what, like 6 years worth of payments or something.
I don't know, man. That's a ton of money. But anyway.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Buy us a Cybertruck, homegames.io.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Not really. No, please don't.
No. Other than the Cybertruck, there's also Stadia, which also has been announced, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was super pumped when I first heard about Stadia because it was just like, okay, well, that just seems like a cool technology to mess with, even if it's not ready yet. Like, you know, On Live several years ago was kind of this idea of streaming games and stuff, but had the limitations of several years ago, and there's still limitations of Stadia today, but Google being behind it, I was like, okay, well, that's actually super cool. And me being an impulsive dummy, saw that they were like, oh, pre-orders for Stadia. And I was like, oh, weird, there's no console, it's just a service. What are you selling me? I don't know, I'll pre-order it. And so I pre-ordered 1 month ago, and got it just before we left for Thanksgiving break. And I tried out Destiny on just within Chrome, you know, on my MacBook, and then within Chrome on my desktop. And then the thing I actually got from Google was the whole package with the Chromecast Ultra and then the controller. And the whole magic of that thing is that the controller connects directly to the game service, and the game service is streaming the game to the Chromecast Ultra on your TV. So you're kind of playing just a console game, but the console's very far away, and it's talking to it over Wi-Fi. And so
That's wild.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that's kind of amazing. And I mean, we're kind of building a game streaming thing on a much smaller scale now, on a very simple thing. But it's kind of the same technology. And I mean, like, I know how. I mean, I know how fast we can make Pico de Gallo running in a Northern California server, and me and you being in Washington and Arizona, and having that be fast. But like, I don't know what it's like to be Google and do all this stuff and have an actual service that's like distributed and working and fast and quote negative latency or whatever the hell they said beforehand. Did you see that thing? That quote?
No.
I think it was like their director of engineering or something who was like, yeah, Stadia is really impressive right now, but in the future we're going to keep making improvements in software through like predictive stuff of knowing, you know, what your next input's going to be and whatever, to actually like start pre-rendering the frames of the game ahead of time before they actually are there. So we'll send, like, you know, you perceive negative latency or whatever. It's like, so you're trying to sell me time travel, Google? Is that really what you're trying to like?
Wait, are you telling me that they're gonna just be able to guess what you're gonna do in the game? Like they're gonna know that you're gonna turn left and so like start rendering to your left?
I don't think it's like on that level, because I think that stuff has been around forever, like to help network performance and stuff like Doom and whatever, right? Where it's like, if I'm walking forward in a straight line, I will likely continue moving forward in a straight line, so the server can kind of predict that I'll keep doing that. If I start moving left, then the prediction changes. Well, I'll probably keep moving left. You know what I mean? Like, it's like on some basic level like that, but it's not super crazy, like a robot looking at what you're doing and thinking that you're going to aim at the guy's head next. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just kind of like micro optimizations like that. Anyway,
okay.
I don't actually know what they're trying. It just sounds like marketing BS to me. Negative latency doesn't exist, and it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, the whole thing was like, it's a cool promise, and I wanted to see how the tech worked. And it's actually like, it's totally amazing. Like, I mean, I live in Seattle, so I live probably close to the nearest data center, and I have pretty fast 500 megabit down, whatever, Comcast, whatever. I have pretty good internet. And yeah, just trying it on the couch and streaming it. I mean, it looked a little fuzzy, and it looked, you know, it started to chug every now and then, and it's definitely not something I'm going to continue paying for, and it's not something that I'm going to use ever, because I just hate the idea of Google owning all the games that I buy. I'm not down for that, but just the technology itself was like totally incredible. I was like blown away by how fast it was. And
that's wild.
Yeah, man. I guess I just wanted to mention that on the podcast. Like, game streaming and that service is incredible to me. I'm excited to see what Project xCloud is like, the Microsoft stuff. But just in general, I'm not down for game streaming, like as a concept. I'd rather just buy games and play them. It's the same thing. Yeah. I use Spotify, but all the stuff I really like, I still buy, like on CD or vinyl or iTunes or whatever, because I just like having stuff. I don't like requiring an internet connection or requiring some dependency or some subscription to a service. Like, I hate that. So, but again, amazing technology.
Yeah, no, it sounds super cool. I haven't tried it or anything like that. I have heard that it would let you play Cyberpunk on like any device anywhere. And somebody played, I think it was Destiny, on like a really crappy computer from like 2012 or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like my MacBook is from 2014, and it's just a Chrome tab. It's just like you're streaming a YouTube video. You open up Chrome and then whatever, and it's, you know, 1080p crazy whatever on the MacBook, and you plug in a controller and you can just play. And when I was playing it on the TV, I actually got the best performance, because that's the whole setup where your controller is talking directly to their server instead of through your device. And that was the best performance I had. And I did one of the things where it's like a raid or whatever it is in Destiny. I don't play Destiny, but it's like other dudes in my lobby, and we all tried to kill a boss. And there were moments playing that where I forgot that I was streaming it. Like, it just felt normal. You know what I mean? There was noticeable input lag, but on the same scale of regular like television input lag, not anything crazy. So
yeah,
it was. I don't know. It was like shocking how good that stuff was.
That's insane.
But I'm definitely going to cancel that subscription as soon as the trial expires.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned. Well, I don't think we even mentioned it in the podcast, but we did want to talk about the fun one. I wanted to include it here, so we actually got that out.
Yeah, it was. During the Thanksgiving one last time, I was like, I want to talk about the Cybertruck and Stadia, and then we got sidetracked with Homegames and making pasta and eating food, which is totally fine. But
speaking of making pasta,
Yeah.
For people who watched the last podcast, I bought flour.
Oh my
I own
goodness.
flour now. Yeah.
It's
I own
a
flour.
milestone in home games history.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it? Have you used anything? Have you used it for anything?
And I literally bought it last night.
Late night
On my way
flour
home
run.
from work. I stopped by the grocery store, got a flu shot, vaccinate, and then got flour and milk. And I'm gonna make French toast after this.
Are you going to make the bread from scratch? Why you
No. I have bread, but I
Okay.
have like eggs and cinnamon and milk and vanilla extract. And you put that in a thing, and then you coat your bread,
Right.
and then you boop into the pan.
You do what into the pan?
You boop. You just
Oh,
kind
you
of like
boop. Okay.
Yeah, you just kind of like boop, and it's like in the pan now, and then it's on a high heat, and it cooks, and then you floop, you flip it over, and then you eat it. With
French
syrup.
toast lessons from Yazeed. This should be the spin-off show. It's cooking with Yazeed.
God, you eat a lot of boiled pasta, just like pasta and sauce, but like you just bought it from the store.
Bachelor life with Yazeed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is the more I explain about my life, the more people realize I'm just like a sad bachelor, and I'm trying my best to solve that problem.
You don't have like any body pillows or weird stuff though, so you're doing okay still. You haven't.
I
hit
do
that.
have a body pillow, but it doesn't have like a weirdo cover on it. It's just like a plain
That's what I mean.
white background.
I also have a body pillow. I have two, but they don't have anime girls on them. That's what I mean.
No, I wouldn't have an anime girl on mine, because that's also my main pillow. Because I sleep on a big a bed,
Oh, nice. You sleep on a bed?
yeah. I'm
Sick.
not that much of a bachelor that I'm like sleeping in a hammock or something like that.
Do you know what a bachelor is? I don't think they're not jungle people. They're just dudes with beards.
Yeah, well, listen, here's what I'm saying, all right? If you are a bachelor and your choice is make up your bed every day or sleep in a hammock, I'd pick a hammock.
Yeah, but you don't have a blanket on that hammock unless you do, in which case you just have a messy hammock, which is the same problem as a messy bed.
No, because it's just like one blanket that's like wrapped around you like burrito, Joseph.
I mean, a
Good
bed is
Joseph
just
burrito.
a bed is just a big cloth thing with a blanket on top of it. I mean, it gets all ruffled and crumpled, but ultimately the only thing that you mess up is the bedding on top, unless you sleep like a madman.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Maybe bachelors don't buy hammocks and sleep in them.
Yep, maybe they
Maybe
don't.
that's just something I've thought about doing, and I just project that onto other people.
See, maybe this is like therapy. Problem one, you think all men sleep in hammocks unless they're married.
There was a Twitter post I saw on Reddit, because that's how that works now, and they were like, if you know a guy who starts a podcast, that's a cry for help. Please help them. And I thought that was really funny, because it was like you and I pretty recently started a podcast.
Yeah, there's a ton of those memes where it's like, what do you call a room of four white guys a podcast or whatever? It's just like,
I think we got through then because neither of us are white.
I mean, I'm certainly white. If you look at someone, look at me.
You have a pig cookie tattoo, and I don't think white people can pronounce it because I can't pronounce the name of the cookie.
It just looks like a regular pig. Also, I'm pretty sure the word is passing. I don't actually give a shit about any of these things, but it's like when you are ethnically something, but you appear as something else, so I pass as white. I don't, whatever. I just know people think I'm white, therefore I am white in this society, which we live in.
Did you see the new Joker?
Oh yeah, I did. Really enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say I really like that part where, but no, I'll wait.
You like the part where he's dancing on the stairs or whatever?
I did like that part, but everybody's seen that part in the memes and everything. I thought it was a cool
Yeah.
movie. I didn't really know what to expect. There was a girl in the theater we were in who like had a total breakdown a couple times. Like she had to leave the theater. I was like, what? It's a R-rated movie. What'd you expect? Anyway. People are weak.
I think you told me that actually.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine to some extent she maybe didn't realize like how brutal that movie probably was going to be.
I mean, it's about the Joker. It's rated R.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are
There's
different.
like two things you probably should know in comics. It's like the Joker's a crazy person, and then Deadpool's also a crazy person.
Yeah, but at
And
least
the
Deadpool,
only difference between them is like Deadpool's more on the silly side, and Joker's generally more on the like more depressing side.
Yeah, Joker wasn't as violent as Deadpool, but Deadpool's violence was all hilarious. It's like that dude got thrown into a highway sign and splattered. It's like that's just goofy. Whereas Joker's violence is just dark.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if you had anything else for this section, but I didn't have any more.
What's this section?
This is the What's Up Part 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that was about it. Halo Reach on PC. Pretty good.
Oh, right. I saw that. I know Tynan's really sad about not being able to play it.
Yeah. You got to get that so you can come goggle my balls like last
Oh, my God. For people who don't know, back in like high school, Joseph literally yelled "gargle my balls" as loud as he could
in his house with his grandparents and mom present, and they're all very quiet and nice people, and they liked me. I think they still do.
They still very much do, yeah.
But yeah, in your house, just shouting "come gargle my balls" up the stairs at you, so they definitely heard.
That was wild. Where did we even get the second Xbox from?
I don't remember. Didn't Reese have one? And it was like a separate thing? Because it was the one downstairs and upstairs.
Yeah, I think we only had one Xbox at the time, though.
Did I bring my Xbox? Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. But Halo Reach on PC, pretty good. I have a 3440 by 1440 monitor, and it's like seeing it in ultra wide is odd. And running it at 100 FPS is also odd because it just looks like Halo's never looked. And it feels too fast, which makes it feel wrong to me. But you could also limit it to 60, so it's like it always was. But I don't know, it's cool. I played one match of Halo Reach, and I finished first place because that's what I do. I'm very good at Halo Reach.
Yeah, that's my boy. Nice.
I'm actually terrible at Halo Reach. Please don't take that as a challenge. No one play with me.
I would like at least one viewer to challenge you to like a 1v1 snipers only.
I also play with controller. That's like I told you this before, but I'm a total plebeian when it comes to that stuff, and I just don't like mouse and keyboard, and I don't like using it, especially for FPS games. I just like controllers.
It's fine. My brother's the same way, actually. He says it just feels more natural for him.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, if that's something you enjoy more, it's fine. Yeah. Anyway. So I do have two closing questions in my rapid fire section.
Sure. Rapid fire.
If you
gotta play the rapid fire music. Something with
what's the rapid fire music?
I don't know. So I'm saying I have to decide what all of them are. So we have the section music, but I have to decide this week.
Okay.
But yeah, rapid fire. Pew 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 pew. You know, music playing.
There you go. I like it. What song best describes your week this week?
Oh God.
It could be a song lyric too.
Oh man. You know, it was a good week for me, and the Spotify stats came out, and my number one song was High Top Versace. So, that one, because it's the best song of the year. Young Thug was my artist of the decade, and it was a good week for me. And Young Thug.
Where do you see those stats, by the way?
Just go to SpotifyWrapped.com, and it'll give you your most recent.
Oh, hell yeah, Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah, you use Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Hey, okay. A live reading of Yazeed's Spotify stats.
This is actually pretty sick.
Yeah, right.
The songs I listened to, it changed for each season pretty dramatically, actually. Okay, let's see this. My number one artist is James Young. I spent 16 hours listening to them.
Listening to who?
James Young.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
He is. I don't know what genre he's in, but I'll send you a song after this to listen to. But I really like him. For listeners, "Feel Something" is a good song by him, and I don't remember. I'll look it up. I'll tweet at the Homegames IO Twitter account.
Will you? I should give you access to that account, by the way, and I should also give you access to the the podcast so you can upload stuff if I'm ever not here.
Okay.
Like if I get
my number 2 artists through 5 is Anima, O Wonder, Odessa, and Feverkin, which isn't like another kin.
Was that the rest of your list? Is that all one person?
Those are all different people.
Okay, because the first word that you said sounded like enema. I'm not sure.
Anima.
Is that just enema with an A?
Exclamation mark.
Okay.
It's not like an enema, hopefully. For you. I've listened to artists from 41 different countries.
Nice.
This is actually pretty great.
Yeah,
Belgium, England, Denmark.
Super cool.
New Zealand, Australia. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. I'm genre fluid. I wish that didn't sound like I was making a joke. That's actually what it calls it. My chunks are pop, vapor, soul, EDM, indie poptimism, and modern rock.
Indie poptimism. That is elevator
vapor
music.
soul, dude. What is this? I don't know. Yeah, my songs are way more all over the place than yours.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mine are all Young Thug.
Was your number 1 podcast the Homegames podcast?
No, it was the Giant Bombcast actually. My Homegames podcast was number 2. I'm trying to not listen to it because it throws off our stats because the service that we use to upload doesn't know that we, like, I don't think there's a way to say don't count me, and so I don't want to get excited about numbers because it's all just us. I'm fairly certain half of the plays in our stats are us. Anyway, yeah. Podcast at Homegames.io.
Yeah, that's wild.
My top 5 artists were Young Thug, then Kid Cudi, and Kanye West, Future, and Lil Uzi Vert, which is seriously like all I listen to, so this feels right. I have 93 hours of Young Thug this year.
Oh my god.
And my mom's number 1 for the year was not Young Thug. Actually, he was her number 1 last year, and I think maybe the year before. But my artist of the decade was Young Thug, and so was my mom's. Super weird.
That's some family bonding.
My mom's like my best friend, by the way.
Did you see your listen stats?
My what?
Your listen stats? How much time you spent on Spotify?
In total?
Yeah.
Which one? Which number is that?
It's 13 for me.
Let me check. Also, it says I was genre fluid because it says that to everybody, but all my genres are the same. It's pop rap, hip hop, underground hip hop, and then pop and rock. I mean, I get pop and rock, but those are just such generic genres.
Yeah, that's basically like saying you listen to music.
Yeah.
I don't like pop as a genre because that's literally just it's like vote, basically.
Yeah, it's like,
is this popular? Then it's pop. Yeah.
My top 3 podcasts were the Giant Bombcast, and then Patch Notes, the Homegames podcast, and then A Waste of Time with It's the Real. A Giant Bomb.
I've never even heard of that third one, actually.
It's a music thing. I'm still trying to get to the... I'm just trying to skip all this so I can get to my total number of hours or minutes. There we go.
Yeah. So in 2017, I had 59,000. In 2018, I had 90,000. And then in 2019, I had 72,000 minutes.
Yeah, I do not have that close. So my numbers have gone up every year since I started listening to Spotify in 2015. But this year's numbers were 41,000. So that's my highest ever. It's not very much.
Those are good numbers.
I actually listened because I use Plex for a bunch of stuff that I stream from my computer that's not on Spotify. So a lot of my music time actually isn't here because I don't just use Spotify. But yeah, I mean, cool stat tracking stuff for sure.
Yeah, this is really cool stat tracking. I'm super stoked.
Yeah. And I like
my artist of the decade was O Wonder, by the way.
Nice. I've heard of that band or whatever that is.
I'm going to go through this in more detail after this podcast, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super cool. I saw that a bunch of people got like the Spotify things, and I got my 2019 wrap up and my decade wrap up, but I didn't see like the stats page. I didn't know where that was located.
Yeah.
I saw somebody make the joke that like Apple just gives you your number one artist or something of the year, and Spotify's like, here's when your child will be born based on the music you're listening to.
Yeah. I think Apple Music probably has like a better UI because I don't know, it just seems kind of boring in Spotify, but everything else in Spotify seems better. And for me, the biggest value is the stat tracking. I love that stuff. Yeah. I wish it gave you more though. I wish it would be like if it actually exposed the playtime of each song, how many times you've played it, how many times you've skipped it, like all of the data. But
just give you like the full data.
Yeah, they don't expose it though.
I'd love them to give you just access to an API like that.
Yeah, I've looked into it before because I wanted to build a stat tracking UI because everybody posts these at the end of the year. So there's clearly like a demand for it throughout the rest of the year. People just kind of track it ongoing, but they don't expose that data. They just expose the top 50. They basically just expose their ranked lists like this. They don't expose the data that generated them.
No. I did find there was I found somebody's like hackathon project from a couple of years ago where they took every song in your Spotify playlist and figured out the genre for that song.
They figured
and
out
like
what?
Not just the like overall genre, so it wouldn't just be like hip hop, it'd also be like the sub genre underneath hip hop based on like Spotify's genre tracking. It was actually pretty cool. I don't know if I've sent you that.
I think you did, and it was like all these crazy genres where it's like country, folk, square dance, trap. You're just like, what is this? Yeah.
It's like it's a really weird insight into like how specific Spotify is when they track genres. But I don't know how to upload music to Spotify, so I wonder if you have to like pick the genre or no. Or they pick it for you.
I don't know. I would guess it's probably both. You like define your genre and then it decides like, well, your tempo is like this and your sound is like this, so it sounds like this kind of thing. So we'll classify it as pop in addition to rap or whatever.
Yeah, the one I do remember that I had was something called deep chip tone, and I honestly have no clue what that means, like at all.
I don't know. I like it though.
But speaking on stats, and this wasn't a question I wrote down, but it came to me right now. What would be the one stat you would love to have tracked on you? Like to just have access to?
I don't know. I think it'd be like times made someone like rethink something, or like anytime I've convinced someone to do something. Like what I'm trying to get at, it's every time I've changed someone's life. So the thing I would think is influencing someone's decision would change their life. So I'm trying to see, because then I could look at like, oh well, I've influenced Yazeed 100 different ways. If it weren't for me, he probably would be like happy or something.
No.
But whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that would be a fun one.
Have you ever heard that thing where it's like you are the like amalgamation of the 7 closest people to you or something like that?
I've heard the general thing of you're the same people that like surround you with whatever, or surround you, but not down to the number.
I don't remember if there was a number associated with it. I think the 7 is coming from me specifically because I was like, who are my closest to? And I was like, there's about 7 people.
Yeah, I don't know. But it makes sense. I mean, all my friends are weird, and so they're like the best people.
Yes.
And I'm pretty weird, I guess.
I think for me it would be percentage of time spent improving per day.
Oh God, that might be depressing.
Yeah. Yeah. But improving is a wide thing, so you could be improving at anything. Like, what if I'm improving at how well I sleep? That's fine.
What if that number is just negative? You realize that you're getting
I'm just
worse.
Slowly losing ability.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to happen, right? You're going to peak at some point before you die.
No.
You're going to peak after death.
If you die like in the middle of your life, technically your peak was your death, like literally right when you died.
Oh, I guess, but that's only if your life is constantly getting better.
I feel like I would like it to be. I'd like to think it is. If it isn't, then it's kind of sad, isn't it?
This conversation's taking a turn.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, and then the other rapid fire question that's just not been a rapid fire. Oh wait, no, you didn't do the song of your week. What's the song that describes your week?
I did. It was High Top Versace.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because take the tent off the coop, keep it fishbowl. In the summertime, my rings keep my fist cold. It's my favorite part of a song over the past very long time. I love that song.
Wait, can you repeat that one more time?
Take the tent off the coop, keep it fishbowl. In the summertime, my rings keep my fists cold.
That's a sick line.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that goes against like physics and temperature, but damn, that's a sick line.
It's just because the way he says it too. He comes in like screaming it. Then, I don't know, man.
That's wild. My other question was, how do you get into the programming zone? Like, what do you have like a ritual, or is it just something that like naturally happens for you?
Honestly, I think I need to have my headphones on, or just music that drowns out everything else. People are like, I've heard people say that they can't write code if they have stuff that has words in it. Like they'll focus too much on the words.
I've heard that too, but
I don't get
feel
that.
way. No.
I think it's just, for me personally, it's any song that I'm comfortable with. So if I know all the words, then I don't think of it as words. I just process it like as sounds. So I don't focus on the words. But if it's a new song, like I can't listen to new music when I write code. That's why so much of my playlist is similar type stuff, and a lot of my listening is just that playlist because I know those songs. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But yeah, it's really music.
Okay. I like it.
What about you?
For me personally, the way I get into the zone at work will be in the morning. I get in, I say good morning, put my headset on, and I pour a bowl of cereal and milk, and then I go for it. And then I eat after that bowl of cereal and milk. That's like go time.
So you need cereal every time you're gonna write code?
I think so. It's like it's at this point, it's like I've trained myself that when I pour a bowl of cereal in a red Solo cup with a white plastic spoon, and I eat out of that and then drink the milk, that's like the sign to like, okay, you're gonna write code after this for like 8 hours.
Does it specifically have to be a red Solo cup? Like, what if you pour a bowl of cereal at home? Do you just have to work?
I don't own cereal.
What?
I don't own cereal at home. I only own cereal at work.
What?
So I don't keep cereal at home. I keep cereal at my office at work.
But what do you eat for breakfast on weekends?
So Sundays I eat 1.5 pounds of steak approximately around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't eat breakfast because I only wake up at like 12 on Sundays. Which is also why we're definitely never moving this podcast to Sundays, because that's why I'm going to sleep in till noonday. And then on Saturday, typically we do the podcast. So my breakfast is either eggs and toast or toast and jam, and then water and watermelon juice. Not together. I have a half glass of watermelon juice and then a mason jar of water.
What's your go-to cereal at work?
I rotate. So my top 3 is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Frosted Mini Wheats, and oh man, those are my definite top. Oh, Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's a good top 3.
Yeah, that's my top 3 at work.
If you swapped out Honey Nut Cheerios for Raisin Bran, not Raisin Bran Crunch, it would be a perfect list.
Are you 100 years old coming in here with your Raisin Bran? Oh my god.
I love Raisin Bran.
Yeah, I'm sure. Do you also take Metamucil with your dinner? No, I'm joking. I've never had Raisin Bran, actually.
What the fuck is wrong?
Yeah, see, the thing is that I'm kind of like you in that, like, I picked out the cereals I like, and I only eat those cereals. So I don't really deviate from there.
What do you think about French Toast Crunch?
Never tried it.
Dude, if you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and you're about to make French toast for breakfast,
yeah,
you have to try French Toast Crunch. It's like, it's not as common as Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but if you find it, you should try it.
Okay, I'll try it out. Also, last weekend, I don't know if I told this story, but I got really fancy syrup which is why I'm gonna make French toast.
Nice.
Because I want to try that syrup.
Like real maple syrup.
Yeah, it's like fancy warm bourbon maple syrup with vanilla extract in it.
Nice. We tried one of those fancy ones from I guess distillery out here called Woodinville Whiskey Company or something. Anyway, their whole thing is they make the syrup, but they put it in the bourbon barrels, and it tastes like, or it kind of has the smell of bourbon, but not really the flavor. It's kind of there, but not. It's pretty good, but I like just regular ass maple syrup.
Okay, I have a food one for you.
Sure.
Waffles, pancakes, and French toast. Rate them from best to worst.
French toast, waffle, pancake.
Oh! It's easy to say that, and yet the better answer is it's waffles, pancakes, French toast.
You think French toast is the worst?
I think French toast is the worst.
You have to explain yourself, though, because you're about to make French toast.
Yeah.
Why would you be so excited about your French toast? If
I'm excited for the French toast
than a
because I've never
pancake.
made French toast before.
Oh, okay. Then I get
So this is the
that.
first time I'm making French toast. But I actually prefer waffles and pancakes. Because I feel like they're just... Waffles for sure, because there's like that crunch, that like ooey gooey, like it's stuck in little squares and you take a bite and it's yummy delicious. And then pancakes because they're, I don't know, they're just like soft, fluffy pillows that you put in your mouth, basically.
Pancakes can go. Just in general, no one needs pancakes. A good fluffy pancake is fine, but compare that to a good waffle or a good French toast, it's not even a question.
So, I think my issue with French toast is because people mess up French toast too much. It tastes too much like eggs to me, and I don't like people who cook French toast incorrectly. It'll taste like eggs, and I don't want it to taste like eggs.
Well, you got to be light on the egg.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to, if you cook it properly, French toast is really good. The best breakfast I've ever eaten was actually French toast, though.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I don't know if I told you this story, but I'm going to tell it now. But I went to Singapore, and in there's a restaurant, and it was a breakfast place, and they did French toast, where it was like super thick cuts of bread for the French toast, and they put a cut down the center, and when they went to go and fry it, they stuck a slice of mango, and then they closed it up, and then they fried it, so the mango gets like cooked inside this French toast.
That sounds actually really good.
And it has like a berry compote that they put on top of it with the syrup too. So it was like sweet, and the mango was good, and the French toast was good as well. Like it was cooked properly, and like there was the right amount of egg in there. Oh, thinking about that French toast makes me want to make French toast.
There you go.
I don't even like mango, but I like that.
How do you not like mango? It's the best fruit.
Watermelon is the best fruit.
Watermelon's delicious, but mango is better.
Okay, watermelon, pineapple, grapes, apples.
Oh, did you just put pineapple in your list of best fruits?
Pineapple is the best fruit. The only reason I didn't say pineapple and instead said watermelon is that no, you don't like pineapple.
We have to cancel this podcast.
No.
I can't do this anymore.
Pineapple is objectively the best fruit. Objectively.
Holy shit, I can't believe that you're saying this not in jest.
It's not even an opinion. It's true, 100%.
I hate that opinion. And it'll take me some time to process it. Anyway, that's the end of the rapid fire questions.
Yeah, it's the end.
Ruined my day, probably my weekend.
Yeah, because next time Joseph and I are going to have a fist fight. He'll bring a mango and I'll bring a pineapple, and we'll see who wins.
I truly can't believe that this man said pineapple's the best fruit. It's bad everywhere, in every way, and it's just awful.
Are you for real right now? I will legitimately... Okay, look, listen. I have eaten a salad that consists of just baby spinach and pineapple. Just diced pineapple and baby spinach, raw baby spinach. That's been a salad that I've eaten. That's like a go-to salad for me.
You also have a bug room.
Those are unrelated.
I'm just saying, you're that kind of guy, you know? I can't really trust the opinions coming from over there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We're taking this off the air.
I'm flying to you right now. We're going to settle this.
We'll meet in Boise. It's the halfway point, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. This
Yeah.
is episode 8.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you. Send in viewer questions. If you send in a bug-related one, I'll tell a bug-related story. And that's all I got, I think.
There you go. We'll see you next week. Bug pictures, Homegames.io. Check out our website. It's homegames.io. Thank you.